Your mind is currently a frantic storm of notifications, deadlines, and digital noise that you didn't consent to. But what if you could observe the chaos without being swept away? We live in an age of unprecedented connectivity, a constant hum of information vying for our attention. From the moment our eyes open, we are often immediately drawn into the digital current, a cascade of emails, social media feeds, news alerts, and messages. This isn't just background noise. It's an insistent, often overwhelming demand on our cognitive resources. We find ourselves caught in what can only be described as the trap of digital reactivity. This isn't a conscious choice for most of us. It's an insidious pattern that develops over time, a conditioned response to the relentless pings and flashes that promise connection, information, or even just a fleeting distraction. Think about it. How often do you pick up your phone without a specific purpose, only to find yourself scrolling through endless feeds, responding to notifications, or checking for updates that weren't truly urgent? This isn't just a habit. It's a deeply ingrained behavioral loop. Each notification, each new piece of content, triggers a micro-response in our brains, a tiny hit of dopamine that reinforces the behavior. We become conditioned to seek out these stimuli, believing that staying on means staying informed, staying connected, staying relevant. But what is the true cost of this constant state of readiness, this perpetual engagement with the digital realm? The cost is often our mental freedom. Our attention, once a precious and finite resource, is fragmented and scattered across countless digital domains. Our ability to focus deeply, to engage in sustained thought, or simply to rest in quiet contemplation diminishes. We find ourselves in a state of perpetual partial attention, always ready to pivot to the next digital stimulus. This isn't just tiring, it's fundamentally disempowering. When our responses are dictated by external triggers, a notification, a trending topic, an email subject line, we lose our agency. We become reactive rather than proactive, constantly responding to the world outside us instead of acting from a place of inner intention and calm. This digital reactivity manifests in many ways. It can be the anxiety that bubbles up when you see a new email from your boss, the compulsive need to check social media for validation, or the feeling of being overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information you feel you must consume. It creates a sense of urgency around things that are often not urgent at all, blurring the lines between genuine priorities and manufactured digital demands. Our nervous systems are constantly on high alert, leading to increased stress, fatigue, and a pervasive sense of being behind or not enough. We are, in essence, allowing the digital world to dictate our inner landscape, turning our minds into a battleground of competing external stimuli. But what if there was another way? What if you could reclaim your attention, your peace, and your mental freedom from this digital deluge? This is where the profound wisdom of Buddhist mindfulness offers a powerful path. It's not about rejecting technology or retreating from the modern world. It's about cultivating an inner sanctuary, a place of stillness and clarity from which you can engage with the world on your own terms. It's about learning to observe the chaos without being swept away, to respond with intention rather than react out of habit. It's about finding calm in the chaos, and in doing so, reclaiming the mental freedom that is your birthright. one of the most liberating principles in Buddhist thought and a cornerstone of mindfulness practice is the art of non-attachment. In our modern, digitally saturated lives, this concept holds immense power. Non-attachment is often misunderstood as indifference or apathy, a detachment from life's experiences. But nothing could be further from the truth. True non-attachment is not about ceasing to care. It's about freeing ourselves from the suffering that arises from clinging to things, people, outcomes, or even our own thoughts and feelings. It's about recognizing that everything is impermanent, constantly changing, and that our attempts to hold on to what is fleeting inevitably lead to distress. Consider how this plays out in the digital realm. We become attached to the idea of constant connection, to the validation of likes and comments, to the narrative we construct about ourselves online, to the opinions of others, and even to the constant stream of news and information. We cling to the belief that we must be always on, always available, always informed. This attachment creates a subtle but pervasive anxiety. When a post doesn't get the expected engagement, we feel a pang of disappointment. When a message goes unanswered, we feel ignored. When we miss a trending topic, we fear being left out. These are all manifestations of attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to external validation, to a particular self-image, to the illusion of control over the digital narrative. The art of non-attachment invites us to observe these attachments without judgment and gently release our grip. It teaches us that our happiness and well-being do not depend on these external factors. It's about understanding that while we can engage with the digital world, we don't need to be defined or controlled by it. We can participate without clinging to the results. We can share without needing approval. We can consume information without becoming overwhelmed by it. This doesn't mean we stop using social media or checking emails. It means we change our relationship to them. We engage from a place of choice, not compulsion. Practically, cultivating non-attachment in a digital world involves several shifts. It means observing the urge to check your phone without immediately acting on it. It means recognizing the fleeting nature of online trends and not feeling compelled to chase every one. It means understanding that a notification is merely a piece of data, not an urgent command demanding your immediate attention. It means letting go of the need to control how others perceive you online, or how a particular piece of content performs. It's about creating a mental space where you can observe your thoughts and feelings about digital interactions, the excitement, the anxiety, the disappointment, without letting them dictate your inner state. This practice of non-attachment extends beyond the digital. It applies to our attachment to past regrets, future anxieties, and even our own self-narratives. By practicing non-attachment, we cultivate a profound sense of inner freedom. We become less susceptible to the emotional roller coaster of external events, digital or otherwise. We learn to appreciate experiences as they are, without needing them to be different, without clinging to them when they inevitably change. This allows us to engage with life more fully, more authentically, and with a greater sense of peace, knowing that our true well-being resides not in what we possess or achieve, but in our inner state of mind. It is a powerful antidote to the constant pull of the digital world, allowing us to reclaim our mental space and our emotional equilibrium. In the midst of this digital storm, where our minds are often pulled in 1,000 directions, there exists a simple, ever-present anchor: your breath. The breath is not just a physiological function. It is a profound biological anchor, a constant, reliable connection to the present moment. It is the most fundamental and accessible tool in the practice of mindfulness, offering an immediate pathway back to stillness and clarity, no matter how turbulent the external world may seem. Why the breath? Unlike our thoughts, which can be chaotic and elusive, or our emotions, which can be overwhelming, the breath is always there, always happening, and always in the present moment. It is neutral, non-judgmental, and intimately connected to our nervous system. When we are stressed or anxious, our breath becomes shallow and rapid. When we are calm and relaxed, it deepens and slows. By consciously bringing our attention to the breath, we can directly influence our physiological and psychological state, shifting from reactivity to responsiveness. The practice is remarkably simple, yet its effects are profoundly transformative. It involves gently directing your attention to the sensations of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. You don't need to change your breath, control it, or judge it. Simply observe it. Notice the cool air entering your nostrils, the slight expansion of your chest or abdomen as you inhale, the warmth of the air as you exhale, the subtle pause between breaths. Each breath is a unique event, a fresh opportunity to return to the present. When your mind inevitably wanders, and it will, countless times, simply acknowledge the thought, without judgment, and gently guide your attention back to the breath. This act of returning, again and again, is the core of the practice. It's not about achieving a state of perfect thoughtlessness. It's about training your attention, strengthening your capacity to be present, and developing a kind and patient relationship with your own mind. Each time you bring your attention back to the breath, you are building a mental muscle, strengthening your ability to choose where your focus lies. In moments of digital overwhelm, the breath becomes your immediate refuge. When a notification pings and you feel that familiar urge to react, pause. Take 3 conscious breaths. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. This simple act creates a tiny but significant space between the stimulus and your response. In that space, you reclaim your agency. You move from automatic reaction to intentional choice. You might decide to check the notification, or you might decide it can wait. The key is that the decision comes from a place of awareness, not compulsion. Regular practice, with the breath as your anchor, has cumulative benefits. It calms the nervous system, reducing the physiological symptoms of stress and anxiety. It enhances your ability to focus and concentrate, making you more effective in your work and more present in your relationships. It cultivates a deeper sense of self-awareness, allowing you to recognize your emotional states and mental patterns more clearly. By consistently returning to the breath, you are building an inner sanctuary, a portable haven of peace that you can access anytime, anywhere, regardless of the external chaos. It is a powerful reminder that true freedom begins not with controlling the outside world, but with mastering your own inner landscape, one conscious breath at a time. In our hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that scream urgent. Emails demand immediate replies. Social media trends insist on instant engagement, and news cycles create a perpetual sense of crisis. This relentless pressure cultivates what can be called the illusion of urgency, a pervasive belief that everything requires our immediate attention, that delay is detrimental, and that we must always be on and responsive. This illusion is a significant contributor to stress, anxiety, and the feeling of being perpetually overwhelmed. Buddhist mindfulness offers a powerful antidote, helping us to dissolve this illusion and reclaim our sense of time and priority. The digital landscape is expertly designed to foster this sense of urgency. Notifications are crafted to grab our attention with a sense of immediacy. Social media algorithms prioritize real-time updates, making us feel like we'll miss out if we don't check constantly. The very language used in many digital communications, urgent, important, action required now, is designed to trigger a reactive response. We internalize this urgency, often feeling guilty if we don't respond instantly, or anxious if we're not up to date on the latest developments. This constant state of perceived urgency keeps our nervous systems in a perpetual state of alert, making it difficult to relax, focus, or engage in deep, meaningful work. Mindfulness helps us to deconstruct this illusion by creating a space between the stimulus and our response. When a notification or an urgent email arrives, our conditioned response is often to react immediately. Mindfulness invites us to pause, to take a breath, to observe the feeling of urgency that arises within us, the racing heart, the tightening in the stomach, the mental pull. By simply noticing these sensations without judgment, we begin to create a gap. In that gap, we gain the power to choose. This choice is crucial. It allows us to discern true urgency from manufactured urgency. Is this email truly critical, or can it wait an hour, or even until tomorrow? Will the world end if I don't respond to this message within 5 minutes? Often, the answer is no. Most things, even those labeled urgent, are not truly emergencies. By consciously choosing to delay our response, even for a few minutes, we begin to dismantle the conditioned reflex of immediate reaction. We reclaim our time and our attention, asserting our own priorities over the demands of the digital world. Practicing this involves setting intentional boundaries. It might mean scheduling specific times to check emails and social media, rather than allowing them to interrupt your flow throughout the day. It might mean turning off notifications so you are not constantly pulled away from your current task. It means cultivating the courage to say "not now" to the digital world, even when it feels uncomfortable. This isn't about being irresponsible. It's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that your attention is a valuable resource and you have the right to direct it where you choose, rather than allowing it to be constantly hijacked. By consistently practicing this discernment, we begin to dissolve the illusion of urgency. We realize that the world does not fall apart if we don't respond instantly. We discover that we can be effective and engaged without being constantly reactive. This shift brings a profound sense of relief and empowerment. It frees up mental space, reduces stress, and allows us to engage with our lives more thoughtfully and deliberately. We move from being slaves to the clock and the screen to becoming masters of our own attention, living from a place of calm intention rather than frantic reaction. The journey through the trap of digital reactivity the cultivation of non-attachment, and the grounding power of the breath all converge towards a profound state, living from still center. This isn't a place you arrive at once and for all. It's a continuous practice, a way of being that transforms your relationship with the world, especially the chaotic digital one. Living from still center means cultivating an inner sanctuary of peace, clarity, and equanimity, a place of unwavering stability within yourself, regardless of the external storms. Imagine a hurricane. At its edges, the winds rage, the rain lashes down, and chaos reigns. But at its very core, the eye of the storm, there is a profound stillness. Living from still center is akin to finding that eye within yourself. It doesn't mean the external chaos disappears. Notifications will still ping, deadlines will still loom, and the digital world will continue its relentless hum. But your relationship to these external events fundamentally changes. You are no longer swept away by the winds. You observe them from a place of inner calm. This still center is built upon the foundations we've discussed. Non-attachment frees you from the emotional roller coaster of clinging to outcomes and external validation. The breath provides a constant anchor, bringing you back to the present moment whenever you feel yourself being pulled away. Dissolving the illusion of urgency allows you to respond with intention rather than react out of compulsion. Together, these practices cultivate a deep sense of inner resilience. When you live from still center, your decisions are no longer dictated by external pressures or fleeting impulses. Instead, they arise from a place of clarity and wisdom. You can engage with the digital world when it serves your purpose and disengage when it doesn't, without guilt or anxiety. You become the conscious director of your attention, rather than a passive recipient of digital demands. This allows for deeper focus, more meaningful work, and more authentic connections, both online and offline. The benefits extend far beyond managing digital overload. Living from still center enhances your emotional regulation. You become less reactive to stress, criticism, or unexpected challenges. You develop a greater capacity for compassion, both for yourself and for others. As you learn to observe human behavior, including your own, with a more open and understanding heart, your relationships deepen because you are more fully present, less distracted by the incessant pull of your devices. You experience a sustained sense of well-being, not dependent on external circumstances, but rooted in your inner state. Integrating this into daily life means bringing mindfulness to all your activities. It's not just about formal meditation sessions, though those are invaluable. It's about mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful listening, and, yes, mindful engagement with technology. It's about pausing before you open that app, taking a breath before you respond to that email, and consciously choosing how you allocate your precious attention throughout your day. It's about recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to return to your still center, to act from a place of intention and peace. This journey is not about perfection, it's about practice. There will be days when the chaos feels overwhelming, when you find yourself swept away by digital reactivity. But with each conscious breath, each moment of non-attachment, each intentional pause, you strengthen your connection to that inner stillness. You are not trying to eliminate the chaos of the modern world, but rather to change your relationship to it, to cultivate an unshakable inner peace that allows you to navigate life with grace, clarity, and genuine mental freedom. We've explored how the relentless demands of our digital world can ensnare us in a trap of constant reactivity, fragmenting our attention and eroding our mental freedom. We've seen how the profound wisdom of non-attachment offers a path to liberation from clinging to fleeting digital validation and manufactured urgency. We've discovered the simple yet powerful truth that our breath is an ever-present anchor, capable of grounding us in the present moment and calming the storm within. And ultimately, we've envisioned what it means to live from a still center, a place of inner peace and clarity that allows us to navigate the chaos of modern life with grace and intention. Reclaiming your mental freedom isn't about abandoning technology. It's about mastering your relationship with it. It's about cultivating an inner landscape where you are the conscious director of your attention, your time, and your peace. It's a journey of continuous practice, of gently returning to the present moment, again and again, with kindness and patience. Each conscious breath, each moment of mindful awareness is a step towards a life lived with greater clarity, deeper connection, and profound inner peace. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. If this conversation resonated with you, please consider sharing it with someone who might also benefit from finding calm in their own chaos. And if you'd like to continue exploring paths to mental freedom and well-being, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more insights and guidance. Your journey to a more mindful and free existence begins now.